Today's best music.
Magic 89.9.
Today's best music, Magic 89.9. My name is Zoe, and I'm sitting here today with six-time Grammy Award-winning group, the Black Eyed Peas. Oh my God, there's no way that I'm gonna match that energy. Like, I could hear you from outside the room, and I'm like, I really have to step it up now this time. All right, well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this. You've got a new single out with J Balvin, and you're here to close out the 30th edition of the SEA Games. How exactly did that come about?
How did what come about? All of them?
Yeah.
Oh. How did they all come about? I was in the elevator one day, and
Well, I know that Apple opened up the ceremony, but we had no idea that you guys.
So, yeah, I just think it's magical. Speaking of 89.9 Magic FM, I think it came together via magic. Without going too deep into how it all happened, I just think it's a magical, awesome, serendipitous moment for us. We have a new label, Sony Records, Sony Music. We have a great new single out, Ritmo with J Balvin. Apple comes from an amazing country, Philippines. Was raised in Pampanga, Angela City, where the SEA Games is right down the street from. 30 years ago today, Apple moved to America because he was adopted. And, when you leave your country and your tradition, being adopted to foreigners, living in a foreign country, not knowing any English, and 10 years later you have a record deal, traveling the world, returning to your country in 2005, a hero, almost, 15 years later. And now you've opened up the opening ceremonies at a stadium that wasn't there 30 years ago, and closing it with your group. That's magical. So how did it all come together? The Lord Jesus Christ, or Muhammad, or Buddha, or Ganesh, Hanuman, whatever deity is responsible, they all had a hand in helping us out.
Yeah, I actually, when I heard about the SEA Games, it only comes every 15 years. In the Philippines, I just wanted to do the torch run because Will did it in the UK, and I'm like, I want to do the torch run. And of course, it's a proud moment, our country, and then the SEA Games asked me if the Peas would like to perform the closing ceremony. I'm like, all right, let me check with my crew if they wanna do it, and if it was unconditional, and here we are. This is magic.
We're really happy to have you here, and you guys are legendary. You're one of the most successful groups in music history. As a DJ who plays music on the daily, it's practically an honor to be sitting here with you. But other than it being a career, what role does music play in your lives?
Music changed my life. When I got to the U.S., I wanted to be a nurse or an architect. But with my visual impairment, it's gonna be hard to administer shots. I'm like, where's the vein at? You know what I'm saying? And then I met an amazing person, my best friend, Will I Am, the first person I met, and he's like, they took me to his house, and I just came from the Philippines, didn't speak any English. And he was like, yo, you're from the Philippines? I never heard of that. What do you do there? I like, I go farming with my grandfather, and I break dance. It's like, what? You break dance? And what? Show me what you got. So I did. So I just learned the Running Man from a Pepsi commercial, and that's the latest move that I remember. So I not showed him the Running Man, but I did it kind of crazy. My hands were like up there, and it was a little funky, and that connection led us into forming a dance crew, and then our first band called Band Clan, which is we got signed to Eazy-E, and then he passed away. We started Black Eyed Peas back in 1995. Yeah, so music it's our ticket way out of poverty, and to support our family.
Well, I like how it brought you all together. I know you guys encouraged each other to pursue music. You know, Will, you basically got Apple into rapping, the story of how Taboo came into picture. As you said, it's serendipitous. And it's been 20 years, still going strong. What's your secret? What binds you guys together?
Because I like sharing secrets. Just kidding. He's over there like, she's going to share a secret. So what binds us together is just our brotherhood, our friendship. And we keep each other grounded. We continue to push ourselves and have dreams that we want to accomplish. And we love what we do. You know, we really appreciate it. And I truly believe we haven't let it get to our heads. You know, even at our height, we're still down to earth. And I think that's primarily because of Apple. You know, if Apple was like some rich kid, maybe we would be different. But because he comes from like a unique place on the planet where they pumped water out the ground, he was a farmer riding on bisons. He's really the Jungle Book. I think that really just that humble beginning just makes us look at success totally differently.
I see. And if you love what you do, it's barely work at all. All right. Well, the Black Eyed Peas is a multicultural group. You know, when Bebot came out in 2006, I remember feeling so cool to be Filipino, understanding exactly what you were rapping. And aside from Bebot, have your cultures ever been a significant factor to what your music would sound like?
Yeah, so I remember we would go to clubs and they would always be like, Puerto Rico! Oh, Puerto Rico! Like, it represented, like, Puerto Rican culture was, like, super proud. Yeah. And we started our group in a Filipino community. And I'm not Filipino. He's black and Filipino, raised in the Philippines. But starting our group in a Filipino community, we all probably feel like we're Filipino. Yeah. So when we say Filipino on Bebo, we're not saying it from a foreigner perspective. We're saying it from like, yo, we started our group in a Filipino community in Los Angeles, and Filipinos should have their anthem as well. You know, African Americans, there's lots of anthems we have. Yeah. You know, Mexicans have lots of songs about, you know, Mexico and Latino culture around the world. I don't know any Filipino song except for Bebo.
And not just because it's your song.
And the Apple song.
Yeah.
But the Apple song doesn't scream out Filipino. You don't wave your flag to the Apple song. It's like, yo, App, let's do a freaking Filipino anthem, bro.
Yeah, because honestly, we could tour around the world, and when Apple performs his song Bebot, people that are not even Filipino, that don't even speak Tagalog, are saying Filipino.
Yeah. So, and that's great.
And we were at the Grammys one day, and Queen Latifah comes up to me, and it's like, yo, you know what's my favorite song? It's that song Bebot. I was like, oh, you mean Bebot? Yeah. That one is like, I don't even understand what you're saying, but I think it's funky. Yeah. So
Anderson .Paak.
Anderson .Paak, yeah. Anderson .Paak. He started reciting it to me, and my lyrics. I'm like, whoa, and I was like, oh, how do you know about that song? Yo, that song is that beat. I mean, just that whole thing, man. It came together very well.
It's cool how App can be the ambassador of the Philippines to like pop culture, just like Manny Pacquiao, as far as like him as an athlete, but Apple through music and through pop culture. You know, you got people like Dave Chappelle, who married a Filipino, who has a common respect and relationship with App because of that. And you know, they always have like this common ground and common bond, which is amazing because you start bridging the gap between cultures and exactly. the common ground, like us, is the Filipino community.
Yeah.
All right, well, as world famous megastars, you know, who have been in the industry for over 2 decades, what do you think about the direction that music has taken in now?
The kids need to be able to express themselves however they want to express themselves. Just like when we were younger and we were making music, the generation before us, or a couple of generations before us, probably thought like, what are these guys doing? Yeah. I don't have to like it. I just have to appreciate how they're expressing themselves and they have an outlet. Yeah. I just hope that, you know, substance comes around the corner.
All right, well, you guys have practically, a genre of your own. Listening to the first seconds of every single song of yours is very much distinctively Black Eyed Peas. And having this history of trend setting, have you ever found yourselves in a position of having to adapt to what's trending?
Adapting is, I don't like that word. Contributing. Right? As far as art, as an art, like species-wise, yeah, you adapt as a species. As an artist, you contribute. Adapting means you're changing your thumbprint, your DNA. I don't think we have to change our DNA to contribute. To understand and contribute. I like those words better than adapting.
Well, I think you've contributed to music quite gracefully. There's no denying that. You've sold millions of records. Creatively speaking, do you believe in process over product? Do you think that the way you create something is more valuable than the output that you come up with? Because you know how people sometimes slave over their work, forgetting what they're working for to begin with.
If you have a true relationship with your field, your medium, for us, our medium is music. Yeah. And that is call and response. I feel a certain way, I have to let it out. And however you let it out, as long as it's true to what you feel, whatever the process is the process. But if you start to obsess over the process more than I have to let this thing out, then you're forgetting about that emotion. You're forgetting about what the purpose is.
Yeah, and we've always had like a certain way that we create music since we were, since we started as teenagers, and it's always having fun in the studio. That's how we created Ritmo, our new single that we have out with J Balvin. It's like it was something fun in the studio. We created it, and it just comes out naturally because we have a certain way that we are in the studio, and we have fun, and we don't take it. Sometimes we're laughing, we're having a good time like we do on stage, and it's that same energy that you see on stage, but it's more crystallized in the studio.
Do you have a mantra? I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
Just to add on, we don't think about the product. It's just like Tabu said, it's about having a good time while you're doing it. We just running around in the studio like yo, how do you check out my rap, is it cool? It's like, it got a kind of weird elbow to it, you can come up with something better. So that's like, constructive criticism is always a good process to have also.
Well, do you have something that keeps you on that stage? I know that you all like to perform. Do you have a mantra that you tell each other, every single day? Before you get on stage, let's say, do you have something that pumps yourself up?
We just laugh a lot. Backstage, we just have we're silly backstage, and it's a lot of laughter, and on stage, to gain energy, you always kind of like look towards Tab. You know what I mean? He's always like, he's like a warrior up there. So it encourages you to like, pick it up at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah.
All right. Well, in the streets here in the Philippines, we have flip-top battles, which are these insane rap battles. You have competitions like The Voice, in which, you have previously starred in and judged. You've got kids in their rooms making music off their laptops, off their friends' guitars. And seeing as how you guys came from humble beginnings, what message could you possibly give these kids when the going gets tough?
When it's tough, it's supposed to be tough. If it was easy, you're never going to crystallize. Stress and pressure makes diamonds, right? When you're in college or when you're in school and you're stressing, you're getting knowledge. If it wasn't, if getting information was easy, right? It's supposed to be tutorial. It's supposed to be a journey. You're supposed to have these ups and downs. You're supposed to be like, feel emotional. If you're not emotional, you don't care about it. If you're not going to cry when the doors close, then you didn't want it that bad. Right? When you work out in the gym and you lifting weights, the next week your muscles are sore.
Yeah.
And the next month your muscles are bigger. Like when people say no pain, no gain, like I didn't really understand that until I actually had pain.
Yeah.
Pain with like, letdowns, pain with like depression because you wanted something so bad and you didn't have it when you wanted it to. That means you're gonna want it even more. Right? And we are a testament to that. 20 years as a career, with the ability to have another 10. That's a blessing, but it took a lot of heartache and pain to be able to, build this reality.
All right.
Yeah, we don't take, we don't take no for an answer. Every hurdle is like it's something you gotta figure it out, and disappointments are just lessons. So you just gotta keep, climbing that mountain and giving it your all. You're gonna have to do it a few times, several times to get it. Yeah. But you can't let it beat you.
Okay, that's great advice. What about you, Taboo?
Well, they all said some remarkable things. Will set it off and App just closed it up. I would say this from a personal experience of, nothing in life prepares you for a horrific thing like battling a disease. Yeah. I've been cancer-free for 5 years. Yeah. So for me, I don't really look at stress or, things that are on the surface. I don't allow them to get to me anymore because when I was battling cancer, there was like nothing that was too big to overcome. And I would say, like, don't allow stresses or the daily struggles to burn you out or to get you to a place where you're not happy with yourself. I feel like a person that needs healing and wants to find that path should be able to find it within themselves. Because I always say, my worst enemy is my inner me. Yeah. Because you're always facing that battle and you're saying to yourself, like, I'm not good enough, or I can't succeed. My bills are not paid, or, we're worried about so many things on the surface that sometimes you need to let go and not allow that to get the best of you.
All right, that's great. We've got one more thing to ask of you guys. We ask our artists to play this all the time on the show. It's called Sugar or Spice. It's a simple yes or no game. If you like what I say, you say sugar. If you don't like it, you say spice. Number one. Black Eyed Peas for Sugar or Spice, 899. Mint chocolate.
Spice.
Oh, yeah, spice.
Is that like Andy's? The mint chocolate?
Could be. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll go with sugar.
Okay, second one, pickup lines. Did you ever use pickup lines? Back in the day or today? In this day and age of sliding DMs?
Back in the day, yes. So, let's be human. You're human. Let's be human together. Like it was some dumb. Like I forgot what it was. Like. It was dumb. It was deep dumb. Let's be human together.
Sugar or spice?
You only live once.
Pineapples on pizza.
Sugar.
Sugar.
But I'm vegan, so it has to be like cashew cheese.
Sugar.
Sugar.
All right. Can you invite your fans to check out your latest single with J Balvin, Ritmo?
Yeah.
Yo, to all my Kababayans, please listen to our brand new song called Ritmo featuring J Balvin.
All right, everyone. I'm DJ Zoe from Magic 89.9, and that was the Black Eyed Peas. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.